Hello students, I am Dr. Meenakshi Mahur, Assistant Professor, Zoology, Sri Soundaryaji Government College, Manfia, Chittagong. Today I am going to discuss sulfur cycle. Sulfur cycle is a biogeochemical cycle which consists of various processes that together enable the movement of sulfur through different reservoirs. Reservoir means atmosphere, biosphere, and lithosphere. Sulfur is an important mineral in living organism. It is found in biomolecules like protein. Actually, it is yellow, brittle, tasteless, odorless, non-metal, and one of the most abundant element on the earth. On land, surface is on land sulfur is stored in underground rocks and minerals, but it is released on surface or in the atmosphere by precipitation, dry deposition, and wet deposition. Wet deposition means acid rain and snow. It is also released by weathering of rocks and geothermal vents. Sulfur is also released into the surface by burning of fossil fuels or volcanic activities or decomposition of organic molecules, that is decomposition of living things and waste products. So as I told you before, sulfur is found in biomolecules like protein. Degradation of protein is released for release of amino acids that contain sulfur. But when sulfur comes in contact with air and it gets converted into sulfates. Actually, plant or microbes takes up sulfur in the form of sulfates. So, sulfates are taken up by plants and microbes and they are converted into organic forms. The organic form of sulfur is then consumed by animals through their food. The organic form is consumed by the animals through their food. So, sulfur moves in food chain. The sulfur in the biosphere then circulates through food chain as consumer feeds on producer. Here, these are the consumers. They can be herbivorous or so plants are taken by herbivorous, and these herbivorous may be eaten by carnivorous. So by this way, sulfur circulates in the food chain. After consumers feed on producer, this sulfur reaches the microbial chain, that is decomposers. The sulfur taken by living beings is then used in the formation of biomolecules like proteins and nucleotides. So, these are the plants. Plants are taken by herbivores, it's cows. Then these can be eaten by carnivorous. So then sulfur moves in carnivorous. So when the plant or animal die, some of the sulfur is released by decomposition while some enters the tissue of microbes. The primary source of hydrogen sulfide in the atmosphere is the gas which is released by microbial action on dead, decaying living organisms. So, after decomposition, the hydrogen sulfide is released into the atmosphere. Actually, a larger amount of hydrogen sulfide gas is also released into the atmosphere due to the burning of large quantities of fossil fuels, especially from coal. Furthermore, certain photosynthetic bacteria initiate the oxidation process and they oxidize hydrogen sulfide to produce elemental sulfur. So, elemental sulfur present in the soil cannot be utilized directly by the plants. So, it is converted into sulfates by chemolithotrophic bacteria. Sulfates are reduced to hydrogen sulfide by some of the sulfate reducing bacteria. Sulfate reducing bacteria may be D-sulfovibro desulfuricans or D-sulfovibro vulgaris. There are so many sulfate reducing bacteria. Then sulfates are reduced to hydrogen sulfide in two steps. Firstly, sulfates are converted to sulfite utilizing ATP and then the reduction of sulfite to hydrogen sulfide. So this is all about sulfur cycle. Now I am again explaining. So smelting or burning of fossil fuels or volcanic eruption or in the form of hydrogen sulfide, sulfates moves in the atmosphere. Then sulfate reaches to the soil in the form of dry deposition or wet deposition. So wet deposition may be acid rain or snow. So sulfate reaches to the soil. By the decomposition of living things and waste product also release sulfates in the soil. So sulfates in the soil reaches to the earth, reaches on the surface due to the decomposition of living things and waste products through dry deposition, through wet deposition. Then sulfates in the soil is taken up by the plants. Plants are taken by the herbivores. Herbivores are eaten by consumers. So again, sulfur moves in the food chain. Then there is also organic deposition or sedimentation of sulfates or sulfides, and to runoff, sulfate reaches to the water. So sulfates is also present in water, and this sulfate can be converted into sulfide, and then deposition of sulfide occurs in the sediments. Then from sediments, it again reaches to the soil, or it reaches to the fossil fuels or in ores. So through sedimentation, sulfur in elemental sulfur moves towards the fossil fuels or ores. So when they burn, then when the burning occurs, it reaches to the atmosphere in the form of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur can be stored in the underground rocks and minerals. It is released by precipitation, dry deposition, wet deposition, weathering of rocks and geothermal vents. Sulfur is also released into the atmosphere by burning of fossil fuels, volcanic activities, and decomposition of organic molecules. So, when the animals or plants die, sulfur because of decomposition reaches to the soil, and then microbial action due to the microbial action, it is the hydrogen sulfide is released into the atmosphere. Microbial action occurs on the dead decaying living organism. So hydrogen sulfide gas is also released into the atmosphere due to the burning of large quantities of fossil fuels. And so there are so many sulfates reducing bacteria like D-sulfovibro, desulfuricans, and D-sulfovibro vulgaris. So this is sulfur cycle. So in today's lecture, first of all, I explained what is sulfur cycle. It is a biogeochemical cycle which consists of various processes that together enable the movement of sulfur to different reservoirs like atmosphere, biosphere, and lithosphere. Then I described how sulfur moves in food chain, how it reaches to the soil, water, then again into the atmosphere. Thank you.